Alright. Yep, we should be live. I'm just making sure because I'm on a 10-minute delay, so I'll make sure that everything is working, but yep. Okay, so we are starting the stream now, so it is the return of the Arena Direct, our old nemesis. Um, these things are incredibly brutal and basically designed to make players hemorrhage gems. If you are good enough, um, they are a way to turn gems into money, like actual physical products that you can sell, which is the only non-violating Wizards terms of service way to turn gems back into money. So, if you're a really good player, these things are great. I am a medium player, and I think that means I have a chance to win product, but it's very low. Like, if I did 100 of these, I would probably win like 4 boxes max. And maybe get my gems back like 10 times total. So, these things are basically a gem abyss, and we will cast our gems into that abyss. I'm going to do one. I won't do more than 3, definitely. If I actually win one, I will probably stop there. Okay, so our rares are, for the most part, garbage. So, Niv, there are only Firebrand Archer, Burst Lightning, and the Lava Spike variant. The 1 mana, 3 damage to each opponent in the set to trigger Niv Mizzet's draw card. So, Niv is basically a 6 mana 5/5 flyer with no other game text most of the time. Sky Knight Squire is very strong. It gets a counter every time I play a creature, and once it has 3 or more counters on it, it becomes a flyer. So once it hits 4/4 for its base stats plus counters, it becomes a 2 mana 4/4 flyer. So if you can cast it early or follow it up with creatures, we're doing good. Electro Duplicate is generally terrible. It makes a temporary copy of one of your creatures, so you have to have some insane value cards to copy to begin with for this card, and it flashes back once. Time Stop is a 6 mana counterspell a lot of the time, or a 6 mana Time Walk that you cast on your opponent's upkeep in order to effectively Time Walk. Those are its 2 modes, and neither one of those modes is amazing. Also, you can't use it to counterspell counterspells unless you want the thing that you were trying to protect countered anyway, because it exiles everything else off the stack along with itself when it resolves. Sire is really strong, but 7 mana. There is a real chance we will be running this thing unless we have like a very aggro deck when I'm done building, because this thing is incredibly hard to deal with. If you don't have a removal spell and 7 life you can afford to lose before this thing can get into combat, then you're just going to die. It has First Strike and Menace and Lifelink and Vigilance. Like, there's no way around this thing. It's going to attack. You can only block it with 2 or more creatures. It's going to kill both of those creatures because of the First Strike. And, yeah. And then it has Reach and Vigilance, so you're not attacking back through it either, and the Lifelink just means that you're getting tons of life. Yeah, this thing is an absolute beating if it's in play. The Spinner of Souls gives you a replacement creature every time one of your other creatures dies, and is a 3 mana 4/3 reach. Like, it's already incredible stats, and it's a value engine. Most of the time, Extravagant Replication is a win more card. You have to already have something on board that's doing alright in order for this thing to do anything. Like, if you're copying your, 2/2 for 2, that's not anything. If you're copying, one of... Oh, it can't even copy lands. I was like, I know it can't copy itself. Can it, clone your lands, at least, if you have nothing else? And the answer is no, it cannot. So, you have to have a board state for this card, and a lot of times that makes it feel very win more, like if it were any other spell, it would be doing just as good. It does let you win a game that's being dragged out. You know, both players are kind of stuck and neither player can attack comfortably. Well, now all of a sudden you have an extra, like whatever your best attacker was that was just going to trade for two of their guys and then be dead, and then you still don't have good attacks on the next turn. Yeah, now you have two of those, and hopefully 3 and 4 of those eventually. So, we'll see. So those are our rares. I'm dragging this out because otherwise this might be like a 20 or 30 minute video because you only get 2 losses. So, alright, let's see what we have. Well, I see a lot of good white aggro creatures already. But no real interaction in white. So we have a Pridemate, 2 Cathar Commandos, 1 Heir Apparent isn't worth it, but 3 Helpful Hunters probably is. That thing. Valkyrie is fine. I'm only seeing Serra Angel, but it's still a 2-mana 1/3 flyer. Mass Pump our team. 3/3 for 3. 2 bodies. We might run that. Yeah, everything but the Heir Apparent looks really good in white. The only downside to white is we have no Banishing Light and no like Joust Through or something. So literally no interaction in white, except for being able to kill opponents' artifacts and enchantments. So that makes me a little disinclined towards blue, despite the replication and the think twice. Because then our only interaction is bouncing our opponent's creature once and countering 2 of their spells. I guess we can bounce it twice. Like, we don't even have Big Fin Bouncer or something to move a creature out of the way. If we went with black, we have a Fake Your Own Death with 3 cats, 2 Hungry Ghouls, 2 Sanguine Siphoners for our Pridemate. Gourmand is decent. Vessel's decent. We don't have any Dazzling Angels, so Marauding Blight Priest is at best okay. Like, it deals an extra point of damage. Yeah, we've got a lot of the... if we were gaining life, we would have a ton of payoffs for it, but we're not really. We do get Bake into a Pie in black, so real quick I want to look at our red, which already doesn't have Burst Lightning, so that's kind of depressing. No Burst Lightning, not even the 5-mana thing. We have her to deal 2 damage to a creature, so yeah, red's not looking too strong here. We went into green. We have no bite downs. We do have 1 Felling Blow. We have the spider. We have this spider. We would get a Good Fortune Unicorn. An Indrik, which can fight. So a 6 mana, kill a 4 toughness or less creature. We have the Sire of the 7 Deaths, and he has Swiftfoot Boots and a Heraldic Banner over here, hiding off screen. We have the Ravenous Amulet. We didn't have, like, a skeleton, though, right? Like, all of our sacrifice stuff are real creatures that we'd be losing. Problem is, I don't think we could live long enough with blue. Like, I think Extravagant Replication with a Guarded Heir or a Serra Angel would be pretty big game in Sealed against, like, a non-white deck that doesn't have Cathar Commandos and Banishing Lights, because then you're just looking at, like, green has Reclamation Sage and nothing else is killing enchantments. But took the red, we have no removal, it's just pure aggro, and that gets stalled out pretty hard. We went green, we get 1 removal spell, and a lot of 1/1 counters. You have the Inspiring Paladin, but he's only one creature. That's still asking an awful lot. There's also a Rogue's Passage, which can help us push damage in the mid to late game if we can get an aggro start. Yeah, there's nothing like super strong where I'm just like, yes, this is what I'm doing here. Like, I like the white for the things that it has, but what if we look at some of the other color combinations? Like, black has one of our only real removal spells, so what does black look like? We get 2 of that vampire. Probably not the snack unless things are going particularly well. So if we were in red, like 2 of these. Real possibility. Really want the electro thing. We get this guy. We get 2 of that guy. 2 damage to each non-flyers. Actually okay with what we have. Like, the ghouls can... The ghoul can eat something else that was going to die to grow out of range. The Gourmand is like the only thing that just dies to it, and I'm sad about that. I guess the Axe Guard, but the Axe Guard is less impressive. We would have access to that. I probably run the target creature can't block. Grab one of these and one of these. Yeah, it still looks kind of medium. Honestly, I think our white and our green have our best things in them. So the question is, like, I don't know that white-green, though, paired together is going to be good because we don't have... we don't have any real removal. We get, like, 1 removal spell in green. So if I did green-black... I have a lot of early plays, but not particularly great ones. Like, we probably lose the Dwynen's Elite. We have how many elves? 2. Yeah, we lose the Dwynen's Elite because it's only the 3/3. That's not working for anything other than being a 2-drop. We have 1 Terramorphic for fixing and 1 Grow from Ashes, so if there were something with a single pip that I wanted to run, that would be possible. But I don't think there's anything that really strikes me as, yeah, this is the thing I want to run. Like the Unicorn a teeny tiny bit, but... We do also have an Adventuring Gear if I wanted to run the... like, the Grow from Ashes and the Terramorphic get a tiny bit better at that point. We also have a blue-black duel and a red-white duel. I don't think there's anything in blue. Think Twice is fine, not amazing when you have to splash for it. Just gets stuck in your hand. You also have this thing for fixing, although that means that we're not getting the bonus to the creatures. We choose that. What does blue-green look like? Got a lot of dirtily creatures in, like, green-black that aren't really doing a whole lot. We get 2 Strix Lookouts. Is that guy playable? Counter spells, we take the 3/4 bounce spell and the replication. Yeah, the Cutthroat is kind of weak. Oh, oops, did not grab that somehow. Cutthroat is kind of weak, but not unplayable. Would need... Do we have anything in black that's worth splashing at that point? Because Bake isn't really splashable. Fake Your Own Death is okay. Gourmand is okay. Wait, we're just getting the cats and the Sky Knight Squire. It was not terrible, but I don't think I want to splash for him. $36, so big old Doomsday Weapon is $37. $8. $9 and $40 because we want to ramp into our bigger threats. Do we go down an island and a forest in order to add in a Rogue's Passage and an Evolving Wilds? The Rogue's Passage is very questionable. Like, we have some things that if we had it in play, it would let us win the game, but at the same time, trying to cast a triple green spell and a double blue spell in a deck with, like, only the slightest bit of fixing seems really dicey to add a colorless land. Like, incredibly dicey to add a colorless land. I do think we add in the Evolving Wilds. We want something like the Adventuring Gear. We have 2 Strix to wear it, so landfall hit for 3 each turn seems pretty strong. I don't know if it's worth the card, though. Let's take a look at this build. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm already a little over on non-creature spells to begin with, but I don't think we have any other creatures that... Like, Dwynen's Elite is just a 2-mana 2/2. So, like, even the flash on the Cutthroat has a tiny bit more value than that, so even if it is only 1 toughness. Like, I could add in the Grappling Kraken. That's another big top-end creature. And we don't have like a 5-drop or less to bridge. Like, we have a bunch of 4s and then 6s and higher. So I don't know that I want to add another 6-drop. Maybe. What non-creature spell am I taking out for this 6-drop? Because it's not the Runaway Together, it's not the Felling Blow. I don't think I can afford to take out the ramp spells either when I'm trying to ramp, so it would probably have to be Extravagant Replication at that point. This card is so bad when you're behind, and so win more when you're way ahead. Well, the Luke man, I appreciate your wish for good luck. I'm 10 minutes into the future now from when you said that, but thank you. Okay. So, yeah, extravagant replication. It's very good when we're at parity, when both sides are kind of like bogged down and we can't get through for damage. But I'm wondering if it would just be better if it were an adventuring gear to throw on the Strix. Legitimately. Like, or even the Wary Thespian. If the Wary Thespian is attacking as a 5-3, it's probably not. Like, the things that were trading with it now are chump blocking it, so it's getting through for 5 damage. That legitimately could be a lot better than what we're doing with extravagant replication in the late game. Yeah, replication is just so medium. And adventuring gear on a Strix is just very big game early on. There is a part of me that wonders if I would want Gleaming Barrier instead of Brineborn Cutthroat, since I have only a very few ways to cast spells on the opponent's turn. The answer to that is probably not. There's also a tiny bit of temptation for an offer you can't refuse. Like, opponents are only going to have as many removal spells as they had in their pool. So, if that's not a high number to begin with, then countering their one removal spell... Like, we don't have a ton of removal. If my one removal spell got countered, the 2 treasure isn't helping unless I'm hitting one of these things off of it. Which is a factor, which is why it's only a little bit of a temptation for an offer you can't refuse. Alright. Are any of these smaller creatures better off if they were suddenly, the Grappling Kraken? It's possible that the Quake Strider isn't good enough, and that should be Grappling Kraken. It would be a little bit easier to cast, only being double blue instead of triple green. And the landfall lets us actually push damage. Whereas the 10-8, if they have chump blockers, we have no way to give it trample, so... This is the build I want to go with. I went with green-black instead. I get 1 extra removal spell. I do take a bit of a dip in creature quality overall, though. Like, we pick up the Gourmand, which is incredible, but we're losing the Strixes in order to get Hungry Ghouls and Sanguine Siphoners, and I don't think that's better. Now I'm thinking it's like, what if I were black-blue? Like, what does that actually give me? A lot of okay 2-drops, but nothing... Still, the 2 Strixes and the Vampire. Yeah, if we had a bit more ways to gain life besides these 2 idiots, I think our white-black would be pretty okay. We really don't. Now I'm thinking about, what if we splashed red? Would that do anything for us? Like, splashing red for Ruby seems a little bit weak. We'd probably have to lose the Cutthroat for the Campus Guide. Give us an extra way to hit red mana early. But she would help to ramp us into our other things. And we would have Niv as a top end. We don't get to draw cards off of Niv, but he's still just a 6-mana 5/5 flyer. I don't think that would be quite good enough, though. Looking at the Inspiring Call, we have the Spider to put 1/1 counters on things. Cackling Prowler gets his own 1/1 counters. Is there a world where white-green is good enough? I do have a bunch of things that put 1/1 counters on stuff in white-green. We wouldn't have removal, but we would have a way to protect our stuff to push damage. Would that be good enough? Would that be better than what I have? I wish one of our 2-drops were Darlid Pack instead of like Wary Thespian or something. Or especially the Dwynens, because we're not even considering the Dwynens here. If that were a Gnarlid Colony or Gnarlid Pack, whichever one it is. White-green could be really strong, actually. The problem is the white-green currently has nothing. If I fall behind, I stay behind. Like, none of my things are, like, big enough to push damage at that point on their own. Like, we have a Youthful Valkyrie and a Serra Angel and maybe the Sky Knight Squire in the air, but after that I kind of have to grow all of my things in order to win. Like, if I run into an opponent with a bunch of removal spells and, like, a couple random dudes, I'm going to die. But I would be able to outmuscle everything else. Alright, let me look at that real quick. Let me see if that looks better than... So we wouldn't have life gain, so I don't think the Pridemate is worth it. The Pridemate is basically going to be a slightly better Heir Apparent. Unicorn. Maybe Swiftfoot Boots, then, to protect things like Serra. Almost feel like we're a little too jammed up at the 2-drop slot. But more bodies is probably more better here. I don't think I can cut the Indrik because it's some kind of interaction. Like, if we're dying to a Vampire Gourmand or, like, the 5/3 flyer that draws a card whenever a creature dies other than it, like, yeah, I would let them draw a card, but I would also kill their 5-power flyer, so... Like, we need something that interacts, and one fight spell ain't gonna cut it. Part of me is wondering if I lose the 2 Wary Thespians then, because Heraldic Banner on white, when all of my other 2-drops are white, seems okay. And I need to lose things. It might be the Swiftfoot Boots still. I am thinking, though, that we have a handful of creatures that will just basically control the game if they can't be dealt with. Like, if our spider doesn't die, we're in really good shape. A Sarah Angel with haste and can't be targeted is probably also going to win a game. And the Sire is already pretty ridiculous. Like, if giving that thing haste because I drew it after flooding out, that is one of the top decks that would get us back in. If this thing just came down and immediately attacked, I think we could lose the Grow from Ashes, though. I don't think I need the Ramp spell. We mostly just need to get to 6. Like, I'm not going to cut this thing, though, because it's sealed. Sealed is a bit slower. But I'm wondering if we lose the Wary Thespians. Is this the build? Hopeful Hunters give us redraws and let us find our land. We do have 2 different mass pump spells in the Banner and the Dauntless Veteran. And then the Unicorn and the Spider can be giving out 1/1 counters, and we do have the Paladin for that. I think we have a tiny bit better synergy with this. We have, like, almost no non-creature spells, but we have 1 bit of interaction, 2 bits of interaction, 2 commandos. This thing folds so easily, though, to, like, 1 utility creature that can take over the game. You know, if they play Zamone or their own Spider, or... Like, there's so many cards that just make this deck, like, if I don't actually draw a Felling Blow on time, or I can't cast the Indrik fast enough, we're just going to lose. Whereas the blue-green build, at least we could bounce it once or twice to buy us time. Like, I think the white-blue has better synergies, and if left unchecked, it's going to win, but I can't count on it being left unchecked, especially in a format like this, so... I think maybe we do go back to the blue. Let's put all of those back in that I know we're in. Rid of that. Go back in. We might have had the Erudite Wizard, I forget. Got the replication, we had that in. I think we did have the Grow for the green version because we're trying to hit, like, all this top end. We put in the Kraken over the 10-8, so there's that. Does the Rogue's Passage make it in now that I've cut the triple green creature? Like, I would probably be cutting a Forest for it. But it is a way to push damage. Yeah, even Arena thinks I'm cutting a Forest for it at that point. Running an extra colorless land, should the Brineborn be Campus Guide then, so that way I can fetch a land that produces colored mana. Actually, was I running? I probably wasn't running the Swiftfoot Boots. I probably did have the random 2-3 in there. Because I already had a problem with non-creature spells to begin with. Right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I don't think we have the Swiftfoot Boots in this build. I think we did just have the Erudite, because we do have the Lookouts, so we can draw cards to buff it. Yeah, I think that was the mentality behind it. As the Cutthroat become a campus guide to help me cast my spells? I think the answer is actually yes. Like, the colorless land is going to help in the late game, but I kind of need to cast my spells early so we live that long. Taking one last look at the black spells here. I think this is it. Alright, let's give it a try. We only have 2 losses, so if I get a loss and we just get rolled, and I'm not sure if I want to keep going with this deck, I only get one more guess at it, so... Alright, here we go. Alright. You have to be creatures, right? Opponent's on a mulligan. 1 mulligan, though. Alright. Cast our Adventuring Gear. Hope to hit our Strix next turn. Or one of our Thespians. Perfect. Actually perfect. Ah, they have the stab? Alright, fine. That's still fine. Like, we got their stab out of the way. Alright, I'm gonna need to draw some lands here, because I have a 6-drop and a 7-drop in my hand, and an equipment that wants me to hit lands anyway. Oh, that will let me hit a land, eventually. Alright, yeah, let's just go get another island here. No point in putting the equipment on now. And in fact, I probably want it on the campus guide so it can also attack next turn. Alright, 4 mana pass, and they did take a mulligan, so it's possible they don't have anything great here, but it's also possible they're just going to try and bake my 3-3, so... and chump my 4-3, so we'll have to see how that goes. I don't have much interaction, so I don't know if I would run away together. Oh, it's an ambush wolf. Alright. I get to eat my Strix out of the graveyard. I do want to hit land 6 and 7. I'm debating if I want to run away together. They're 1-1 in my 4-3, but probably not. It's probably too loose here. Just let them chump the one thing if they want to. Okay, so they're just going to chump him. Yeah, this is fine. Let them worry about what I might have, why I spent so much time thinking about that. Yeah, this is not the creature I want to... This is not the creature I want to Felling Blow onto, and not the creature I want to run away together with right now, so... I think we just pass. if they play like another threatening creature here, like if they flash out another wolf to eat my 3/3 out of the graveyard, or if they have any of the other flash creatures. No? Okay. Yeah, I'd rather tempo them with Runaway together. Like, if they tap out for a 5-drop here, that like the Elfsworn Giant or something. Target creature... On the other hand, this would punch out... The Elfsworn Giant is an actual thing that I could punch out and not feel bad about it, and then jam for 3 damage at least. Yeah, okay. Talked myself into it. Like, that's an actual real creature that we just got rid of with our spell, and yeah, they're gonna chump with their 1/1 now. Alright. No, I'd not like to equip my equipment to the creature it's equipped to. Thank you, Arena. Alright. It's fine. Let's offer the trade, because the landfall doesn't make it not a trade, so... Let's go ahead and trade there. Play out our Erudite Wizard. Play our land. Because we want to get to the Kraken anyway. And I'm probably going to bounce their Giant and my Wizard here, most likely. To buy time. Especially if they have no land, yeah. Ooh, Snare Spinner now is a much better creature to have in play. Yeah, you might as well have this. Oh, they played their land before casting him. Huh. Alright, so we landfall. Makes it a 3/6. Put a counter on itself. Back with my 4/7. Okay. It's fine. Summon the Wizard now. If we draw the 7th land, I was going to say, if we draw the 7th land, I probably Grappling Kraken and tap down their 5/3 and lock it down. The other option is to hit them for 4 with the... okay. I was going to say, the other option is to hit them for 4 by equipping the Wizard and then playing the Kraken afterwards, because then they can't pay 7 life, but they have the food, so that seems not the best use of my... Yeah, we'll get this landfall trigger instead and keep their guy on lockdown. Ah, okay. Well, that is fine. Landfall, make a 1/1. Oh, they have a kill spell for the Kraken too? Okay. Well. All of this is good, but they've spent, like, all of their removal spells, I'm hoping, So, yeah, they have the loop, but the Sire of the Seven Deaths is just gonna, like, roll them entirely here. Yeah, that is a 7-power First Strike, Menace, Lifelink, Vigilance, unblockable with my land. They have 3 Elvish Regrowers. They don't have an extra green mana for that thing this turn, so that's not helping them much. If the last card in their hand is another removal spell, then I will lose. But if I get to untap here, I don't think I can lose. Like, even lands let me grow the... Like, I can move the equipment over, but... I don't like this. It left up 2 black and a white. Ah, they have an Infernal Vessel. Okay, never mind. We're golden now. So we go... Slide that over. Landfall. Make him unblockable. Go to 17 and hope they do not draw Overrun. Would Overrun be enough? I'm technically at 24 and the Sire is still like chomping through them, so... Like, Overrun wouldn't even get this guy big enough to attack into the Sire, so... It would have to actually be like that Epic Proportions or something. Yeah, I think we got it. Can't kill the Sire anymore, and I don't think there's anything that would let them push through it, so... I guess technically the 1-mana white trick on the 6-power creature attacking me, but... Because that would also prevent damage, so I wouldn't gain the life. So Giant Growth doesn't save their creature. 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14. So I technically don't have to block anything else here. And landfall on this guy with the Rogue's Passage would kill them also. Like, it can't be Giant Growth and something else. So it can't be the Feather Flight and Giant Growth, which would kill me. Is there anything else that's going to kill me here? I think just on the interest of not dying, because they can't currently kill the Sire with anything, or block the Sire with anything. Okay. I just soaked the most damage here. Okay. I don't know what they could have had there that me blocking differently with the Sire wasn't going to have the same result then, but... Alright. Wanna know? Yeah, we need 6 wins, and we have the Sire of the Seven Deaths. Sure, we can get there. Alright, we have Strix, we have Think Twice, we have our Spider. Opponent's on the play, but everything else looks good, so... Good, no turn 1 Lalamore Elves from the opponent. We have a Wary Thespian. That makes me a lot more inclined to run my Wary Thespian out. Because I don't want to trade with the Strix, and I don't want to take 3 damage if I don't have to. That is my 5th land. I do need the land, though, so I will keep it. We have a bunch of top-end things. Yep, so they waste my Scry this way, because I left my card on top. That's fine, though. They did not want an Infestation Sage in their black-green deck. Good to know. Oh. Gonna take a little bit of damage now. It's fine, we have our Uncharted. Goodbye time. Also, they did not play a creature pre-combat. Okay. So they missed a point of damage there, which I appreciate. I think I'm going to get run over if I don't run out the spider here. So we get our point of damage in with our Vigilance creature. Like, if I Uncharted them, I would be putting back the 3/3 and taking 4, because that's the more problematic of the two. Like, bouncing the 4/2 just means that I take 2 extra damage later on, and they buff their guy, probably. They only have 3 cards in their hand, but if they play a removal spell here, I fall very far behind. I'm still falling kind of far behind, though, to Uncharted Voyage. It's not like I get to activate the spider. And if they don't have a creature, then they can attack with a 3/3. But if they don't have a creature and they don't have a removal spell for the spider, then they have nothing. Like, actual nothing. Their hand is just, like, land and ramp spells and do-nothings. And, yeah. Alright. Well, this looks like a loss, then. Yeah, my opponent just went removal spell into removal spell, and I don't think I have any real outs now. Fine. Hit them for 1. Pass the turn. We'll see if they play a creature pre-combat. They have a Reclamation Sage to kill my guy. Wow. Wow. I didn't search for the land, so the 2/1 would have been infinitely better here. Like the Brian Cutthroat. I would have even been able to cast a spell on their turn and trade for, like, their 4/3. Now I have to chump. Yeah, this is a loss. Like, I can't even cast Sire of the Seven Deaths next turn to not be dead on board, so... Alright, let's draw our card, make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, Spider's not gonna do it. Alright, literally dead on board, but they don't know that, so... Maybe they get cute and do something stupid, rather than winning the game. Nope, okay. Just checking. Well, that's our first loss, so 1 more and we're done. So, hour of deck building. 18 minutes of gameplay. I think that's the ratio. I've technically only been going for an hour, so... Yeah, that's the Arena Direct, though. We fell a tiny bit behind, and that was all it took. Just stayed behind for the rest of the game. I'm on the play, I get a look at a land, and then some filtering afterwards, so I think I'm good to keep this. But if we just brick on lands, I'm going to lose, so that's not a land. If the next card is not a land, it's going in the graveyard, regardless of what it is. Alright. Any land gets kept, any non-land immediately gets binned. Oh good, they didn't kill my guy before I got to draw my land. So, now if they kill it, I get a second surveil. Essence scatter me? Yeah, okay. I just want to draw lands. Like, legitimately, if the top 3 cards of my deck are land, I think I'm doing fine. They got a 3rd color. So the red is probably a splash. Could be for removal, like burn spells or something. Yep. It's a land. That's all I can ask for here. Yeah, like 3 running lands off the top give me pumping my Spider into Kraken into Sire of the Seven Deaths and casting an Uncharted, so... Alright. Well, it is what I asked for. I'm not holding up the Uncharted. I want to push damage here, so... Target creature. Alright. Well, any land gives me the Kraken. So... I do have to crack the fetch now. What do they name with this thing? Blue. Okay. I think I get blue. I have more double blue spells than double green spells, so... Alright. That is Kraken, and if I draw a land next turn, that is into Sire of Seven Deaths, so... That's Niv Mizzet, but... As good as Niv is, I was going to say Landfall still botches him. Also, we just get to Uncharted Niv now and Jam, so... And go get our land on top of that. If there's not a land on top already. There is a land on top already. Back them for 5. See if they chump. They'll chump and redraw Niv. That's fine. That means they tap out for Niv. Yeah, we'll still leave the island on top. That's fine. So they tap out for Niv. I get to landfall, lockdown Niv, cast Sire of Seven Deaths, and hit them for 7. So... I think this one's over. I could be wrong. They are at 9. They could go to 2 to kill the Sire of the Seven Deaths here, but... Pretty sure we win this. I guess they could have specifically Aetherize, but... Well, not anymore. Okay. That's cool. Does not stop me. Still does not stop me. So let's see. We are definitely attacking with the Sire, because they cannot block the Sire effectively. We should send that, because that forces them to chump block with one of their creatures. But this thing still doesn't have a good attack into what they have, so... Yeah, that does not work. Sire of the Seven Deaths is Menace. That is one of his keywords. I know there's 7 of them, so it's really hard to find all of them, but... I have 1 card in hand. Like, I kind of want to hold the Erudite Wizard in case they have Day of Judgment or something. Because that's one of the few ways I can lose this game. Yep. Just gonna main phase that one so they can put equipment on it or something. Yeah, they can't even get Niv high enough to stop the Sire of the Seven Deaths from killing him. And that'll do just fine. Would they like to kill their own Banishing Light and give me back my other creature? Okay. 2 wins now. Need 2 more wins to get a partial rebate on our gems. Partial rebate. Not even half. Like 2/5 or something. This is a very slow hand and the opponent goes first, but it has all of my removal and interaction in it and my spider. Like my rare spider that I can cast. I don't think I can mulligan this, but I also can definitely see just dying. Like, this is a hand I could very easily just die with. Yep. Yep. And that's how I could just die, is turn 1, 1 mana, 2 power creature. Alright, no follow-up play means... Oh, no, they have a flash. They're gonna flash in the 3 power one now? Jesus Christ, I'm dead. I am so dead. That is the least impactful thing they have done all game. I am just gonna die. Like, if they have anything for this spider, a stiff breeze, a rolled up newspaper. Banishing Light. Banishing Light will in fact do it. So I take 5, 6 damage. I'm at 7. I have no castable creatures in my hand. I can't hold up any spells here. They can just disenchant this guy if they want to and push damage. Yeah, this is the Arena Direct. This is what it looks like. Any bad draw, any mediocre thing is just like, I can't put a land on top. I have to try and draw a spell I can cast. But the fact that I'm not holding up Refute this turn and not going to play the Indrik next turn just means that I am very, very dead. Like, I am at like a millionth of a percent to win this game right now. And it's gone. I go to 1. They have 3 lethal creatures. I have no creatures I can cast in my hand. And that'll do it. That was the Arena Direct. I I mean, our pool was not amazing, if we go back and look at it. We did have some good cards, though, and Sire performed exactly the way I thought it would. Every time we resolved that thing, it won the game, so... All of my wins came from Sire of the Seven Deaths hitting the table, and all of my losses came from not being able to live long enough to even think about casting him. So... yeah, when I kept that hand, I knew what I was in for. Like, if I did not rip Wary Thespians or something else off the top, I was just going to die, and I did not rip Wary Thespians. Rary Thespians. They were raring to go, but they did not make it in time. But we looked at basically all of the other builds that even looked a little bit viable, and that was what I came up with. Like, I don't know that the white-green deck would have won the games that our blue-green deck won, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, it might have had a better chance in the games that we lost, because it would have had a lot more early plays to make. Like, casting a bunch of helpful hunters against that last opponent would have been, like, really strong game. But, yeah, that's how Arena Directs go. This is why I do not like them. Alright, I'm going to take a bit of a break, see about getting lunch. I might be on later doing another one of these things. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for right now, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.